Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Talk with Walter. Today I'm here with Daniel and Revandy, and we're going to talk about off-market opportunities. So let's go straight into it. We just got up at the commercial coffee and conversation catch-up. It was a nice and vibrant conversation that we had, and we're going to share one online with you now. So, Daniel, you want to introduce yourself first?
Yes, hi Walter. How you going? Yes, I'm Daniel from DV Buyers Agency. So I've been active in the space for about 3.5 years or so now, and yeah, just trying to always build up our network of industry professionals. And yeah, it's always just good to have a chat to people, like-minded professionals, to see how we can all work together to achieve common goals. I suppose. Yeah, yeah.
And what about yourself?
Hi, my name is Revandy from the Real Estate Times. We mainly focus on selling residentials around the Swan Valley area, especially Ellenbrook, but we've been getting a lot of other listings across Perth, and so now we're just focusing on running two-stage selling process, which is the off-market first, and if we don't get what the seller is after, then we take it to market.
Okay, all right, excellent. Well, I'll stay with you. And speaking about the off-market opportunities, what is it that makes an off-market opportunity such a great strategy for your clients?
Well, off market is not always the best option, but it depends on the seller's situation, right? Like if you need a fast and quiet sale where the neighbors doesn't know because there's no signboard and everything, that's a good option there. And also to save money on marketing as well. If you can achieve the same price that you can on the market, why open every weekend, right? But in saying that, it doesn't mean that you can always get the absolute best price, but it just puts the seller in a negotiation leverage because then they can control the settlement terms even better.
Right, excellent. And Daniel, from a buyer's point of view, what is it that an off-market opportunity makes it better or different compared to competing ones the listings are up? And how do you get to know about these opportunities?
Yeah, so basically, look, the advantage of an off market is that you're not simply we're not competing with everyone, right? There might be only a handful of people that might know about an off market opportunity. Or in some cases, depending on my relationship with the agent, I could be the only one to actually know about it. It could be exclusively presented to me and my client. So that's the advantage, is that you're sort of eliminating a lot of that competition to give my clients, a competitive edge, I suppose. Now, it doesn't always mean that we're going to secure it for a bargain, right? There's no, especially in this market, there's no bargains. And quite often you still end up paying a premium price. But I guess that's the reward, right? You're getting exclusive access to the property, but you are still expected to pay a good price for that, or market price for it, and the client's fine with that. They're just happy not getting into a bidding war with everyone else. That's the real benefit, I suppose.
Okay, all right. So, do you find that off-market opportunities are smoother, faster, easier, or doesn't that really matter?
Um, it's really case by case, and so we do find a lot of off market opportunities through agents like Revandy, who we work with, and then also other buyers agents like myself. So we're constantly sharing off market properties with each other on a daily basis through our network. And as I said, quite often it can be a more streamlined process because it's just us dealing with the agent. They're not dealing with multiple buyers, just me, or maybe one or two more people, so we can get a decision much faster. Whereas sometimes you're buying something on market, it could be a 2 week campaign and you got to wait a long time.
Right.
And then sometimes your client doesn't want to wait that long, or they can't wait that long. Maybe their pre-approval is going to expire. They just want to get something done straight away. So anyway, it's really case by case. But most of the time, you do find it is a more faster process going off market. Yeah.
And is that the same for sellers? Do sellers experience the off-market opportunities as less stressful process, or do they still think that there is benefit of creating competition and see if through the competition they can actually increase the price?
Yes and no, because gone are the days where off market is a way for you to secure a bargain. I think buyers are now waking up thinking that hey, look, I'm actually in the driver's seat to secure a property with no bidding wars, so I need to pay an absolute premium price for it, right? And they're also more at ease because when they go through the homes, they don't really see that many competition, so they have more time to kind of imagine their life there. Depending on the clients, it's either owner occ or investors as well. With sellers, I'll give you a scenario. So if we're in this market where people know it's a good time to sell, but they struggle to find their next property to move into. So they keep on making offers elsewhere, and then the agents are always asking them, is your property on the market because you're a subject sale? Like, have you gotten any interest yet? So that's where off market comes in. If my seller contacts me, say, hey, we need to move on this house quickly, I've already got like a bunch of buyers that I have on my database with the specific price range that the seller is looking to sell. And I've got relationships with buyers agents like Daniel as well, who has a client's brief that fits that particular property. So in order to help them secure that next place, we put an offer in place.
So basically, in short, what I'm hearing is that off-market listings are just a different strategy, and considering the circumstances of buyers and sellers, it could work very well, or it might not. Is that a good summary of what you've just explained to me?
Definitely, definitely. Oh, sorry, you good? You sorry.
Well, I like to think of market as like a good way to start. Like where the offer comes in. But going to market is just your insurance to make sure that you get the absolute cherry on top.
Excellent.
I just wanted to, sorry, just add, another reason why people go off market as well, vendors, especially when it's tenanted. So we find a lot of off market properties are tenanted properties, right? Because it can be very disruptive to a tenant to have multiple home opens, especially if they've been given notice to vacate. Then it can be quite difficult to allow access as well. So that's why quite often in those situations, the vendor might say to Revandy, to the agent, say, look, do you have any buyers in your database that we can maybe do a quick deal with and not have to bother the tenant and do multiple opens because they're already in a disgruntled state. So quite often when it's tenanted, that's also a strategy to try and find a buyer off market in those situations. I find from my experience.
Interesting. I recently had in the commercial environment for leasing, I had an off-market opportunity, and that is a sort of similar situation where we had a tenant that actually broke their lease. They actually abandoned the property, and they left us with everything to clean up. So it takes time to get the property ready for advertising. So what we did is we just put up a sticker on the window or for lease sign, and while we were going through the process of wrapping the other tenancy up, doing the make-good, doing the cleaning, and getting it ready for advertising. And those sort of things, they do take time because you have to keep the legalities in consideration, what you can and cannot do with the property that actually belonged to the previous tenant that have been abandoned. So while we were trying to sort that out, we started to get inquiries just because it was on the main road. It was on Scarborough Beach Road in Mount Lawley. And I even got a listing request out of it. So we actually didn't go to market. We just put up the sticker, but we got lots of inquiries. We actually got a deal done. And so we saved the client, the advertising cost of going online and doing a premium listings and having to do multiple home opens. So it worked for us well on that street, on that case. But other properties, if you don't advertise it, no one will know about it, and it won't roll. So I guess, as you said, every situation has a different strategy and a different occasion. It depends on the buyers, sellers, probably where the property is located as well. But it was a good chat. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I'll share this interview on my socials, and I'll have a newsletter written about it as well, and we'll share it on our socials. And this is the type of conversations that we have at the Commercial Coffee and Conversation catch-ups that we do from time to time. The next one will be a cocktail event after hours in November. So if you want information about that, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to share it. And we'll have a lunch catch-up in December. So that's a nice way for us to finish the year.
Yep.
Thank you for your time, Daniel.
Thank you, Walter. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, Rivaldi.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for watching. Cheers, guys.